From the land down under, going to be bringing you this North American matchup. Parabellum Esports, Oxygen Esports, their first showing here for Six Invitational 2021. We are going to be heading straight into the match here on Oregon. Unfortunately for Parabellum, the social vote not too kind for them.
Yeah, of course. That is expected. Parabellum are only in the invitation off the back of the open qualifier where they managed to beat out some of the other North American teams to earn their position at the Six Invitational. Now, in terms of Oregon, right? This is the map we're going to be playing on, and continuing on that Parabellum discussion, they have not played this map in stage 1 of the North American Challenger League, where they are currently positioned first. So Oxygen heading into this one are feeling a little bit blind.
Just a little bit. Well, hopefully not too blind. One thing, though, that we do kind of expect, the Thatcher going off the board nice and early. I think it's probably already the most banned operator for Six Invitational. No real surprise there. Another operator, though, we do tend to see get banned out by Parabellum is Wamai, so that might be something that they will do on the defense. For Oxygen Esports, with the Thatcher gone, and the fact that they haven't played too many maps of Oregon so far in the last few months, we're not too sure what's going to happen here. It is going to be the Ying taken off the board nice and early.
Yeah, a change up there from Oxygen. In the matches that they have played recently, Ying has not been banned. So a change up there, but of course Ying pretty potent on Oregon, so not unexpected in a match of competitive Siege. I'll follow that up on the defense with Mirror, and it's either Mirror or Valkyrie in their arsenal, and I would expect that the other would be taken out by Parabellum, so of course the Valk. I would expect to be followed up here as we see that ban come through. And no, it'll be a projectile denial. We're actually seeing quite a few of my bans so far this SI.
Were you listening to me, guys? I said the Wamai, not the Valk, the Wamai. No surprises really here with any of these.
Sorry.
It happens every time. Listen, Oregon, though, defense first up for Parabellum. This is very important, guys. If it's got a pretty substantial defensive win rate within the North American League, something along the lines of 61%. So for Parabellum, it's important. No, it's imperative. They need to get off to a good start here and make use of this defensive win rate.
100% agree with you on that point. In terms of the Parabellum defense, I was lucky enough to get some insider knowledge from the lovely Jesse J Chick from over in North America. I hit him up in the DMs. He gave me some really good information, and one player to keep an eye out here for on Parabellum is Penguin. Now, apparently, he's cracked on the pulse. He's not going to be playing him in this first round, but keep an eye on him, the IGL of this squad, to maybe go for a couple of big plays here and there and really lift the team's spirit.
For Oxygen Esports, I mean, talking about some narratives as we sort of begin this matchup. Remember, this is their first time and their first showing for Six Invitational 21. I kind of want your thoughts coming into the event for them, not just in this game, but overall. For me, I consider them one of the top teams and a team that should be highly regarded for the entire tournament.
Yeah, Oxygen Esports started off 2021 really, really well. They were the bridesmaids in 2020, often finishing 3rd and 4th, but they did a really good run in 2021 stage 1. 4-2-1-1 was their record, and I'm sure that valuable LAN experience will serve them well in this event. They only lost to Disrupt Gaming in regulation and the Sonics, who also had a really strong season, in overtime. So they actually only lost to the best teams of stage 1, and for me, that bodes pretty well for them at SI. Of course, it's a whole different kettle of fish, but it's the only thing we really have to go off.
And for their opponents, just quickly, of course, Parabellum, one of 2 teams not in a Tier 1 competition, Challenger League team. Look, they have got a monumental task, but I know these guys are going to be up for it as we get underway here. It's going to be Lord Yaga goes straight down. Does get the elimination onto Esker, gets immediately retraded though, and what an opening start here on this Laundry defense, which, by the way, a nice statistic about this, 69% defensive win rate in NAL.
Yeah, peculiar play there from Parabellum. The triple setup at the bottom of the freezer stairs. A trade, of course, did ensue. Yaga taken down, and Esker as well in the process. So a pretty neutral trade there for the side. Well, for both of these teams, I guess. I guess Yaga being taken down, bit of utility will go astray, and that will, of course, make clearing things like Aruna Gates and Banshees a little bit more difficult alongside, of course, those Vulcan shields. Meanwhile, though, Oxygen working the hatches from above, doing his job well, and now the drones will head out to try and find out where these defenders are stationed.
Still a minute and a half, of course, remaining. Nice little pleasantries exchanged early on in this round, but it's not going to deter Parabellum Esports too much. And as I said before, it is imperative that they get off to a good start, especially here on Launch Supply with that very high defensive win rate. Right now, not too much action happening at the moment, but in the next 45 seconds or so, that's really when it's going to explode down below, as we are seeing Oxygen Esports now turn their attention over to Laundry, and of course, they've already established themselves also over towards Freezer.
9 drones still available for Oxygen. We saw them pre-placing a few in towards the site, and late round that will prove very, very useful. Again, Yaga's down. He can flick around those and give calls to his team as to where these defenders are located. Euphoria caught off guard. Trades ensue. Soda and Penguin now left to try and clutch up Soda. Narrowly misses that shot towards Freezer. It's Kino with the kit.
Oh, what an angle, though, held by Kino. Snaps the head off of Penguin. And Oxygen Esports have just thoroughly dismantled this Parabellum defense already. Sona now left up to a 1 versus 3, and not the start to 6 Invitational for the Canadians. Oxygen Esports, though, off to the perfect start. Up 1-0 already.
Kino there showing his support for Space Station Gaming with the charm, of course, last year's champions of the 6 Invitational. And for the APAC fans that might be hanging around, Ikinura Rango skin as well, but a really solid round there from Oxygen. I mean, look at that hold at the bottom of the stairs for Parabellum. Absolutely insane. The first round of the Invitational, they decided to commit to that strategy. That is very, very ballsy. And sure, they traded out, but unfortunately, Oxygen too strong in the late round.
And that was one thing that I thought Parabellum were actually doing quite well. Saw at least 2 times they were able to get refrags, so that means they were positioned correctly at least to get that. Unfortunately, though, Oxygen Esports just had the numbers, at least in the pushes that they were, you know, instigating, really. And that's really what it was. Oxygen were the ones, they were the instigators. They were beginning these fights, and they were making those early aggressive pushes. You know, we saw it from Yoga as well when he started to push down initially towards Freezer. And I think that's bad news for Parabellum. If Oxygen Esports come into this and really just swing around with his firepower, I just don't know if Parabellum have got what it takes to stop it. And they are, of course, going to repeat, as you would, considering this is the best defensive site, statistically, that you can play on.
Yeah, 100%. Just stealing my point right there. I was going to mention Parabellum. They're playing the numbers game. In the NAL Stage 1, Laundry Supply had a 69% win rate. And, of course, in Challenger League, it was even higher, 77% defensive win rate. Now, of course, that might be an indication that some of the Tier 2 teams are a little bit sloppier in their attacks. We generally see that as the quality of play diminishes a little bit. But, again, the numbers in their favor, and they'll reattempt.
And I think the big thing is, you know, we sort of speak about what do they need to do differently here in this second round, in this reattempt. And I think more than anything, it's either you have to get into the face of Oxygen Esports, try and take that aggression to them, or maybe just set up a little bit better defensively. I would like to see maybe a bit more presence above, and we're seeing that here at the moment from Penguin. That doesn't really work anymore, I don't think, as he goes for the knife peek. I don't think that works anymore, right?
Yeah, I don't think it would be that effective on the LAN build anyway, so a little bit cheeky, but either way, just trying to bait out shots, trying to work out exactly where any opponents may be located. One of those spirits up above. Trying to get a little bit cheeky here on the roam. Euphoria as well, and started meeting with an angle or an early fight with Yaga. Neither player takes damage though.
Sure, just going to back out now for all the time being, but this is much better from Parabellum. This is something we didn't see from them in the last round. Of course, Oxygen, they pushed down into Freezer. They started the exchanges nice and early. This time, Parabellum, though, being way harder to deal with and to clear out. This roam game above over towards Kitchen, paying dividends. Haven't lost anyone just yet, although Cast occurs immediately. Penguin is subdued by Vertical, and they do get the opening pick once again. 2 rounds in a row now for Oxygen Esports. And this advantage is going to be so important in the final minute or so that, like the first round before us, they were able to continue to win those trades. With this advantage, it should be easier to do that once again.
Blue control obtained here from Oxygen Esports, as well as the mainstays as shots raining out, and I would presume that Foxay will head over towards bunker and begin to work the wall, and right on cue he will. Decides to just maverick the bottom of the wall and shoot off that mute jammer that will allow Kino to come across and open that up if desired, and we can expect a full pillar push here. Oh wow, that could have been devastating had Eska found something there, but Laxing shuts it down.
Yeah, very important that Spirits is able to get a refrag there as well. One back at least through Sona too. Kino, though, of course, sharp and will be able to get the retrade. 30 seconds left into the round. So far, again, Parabellum just unable to find an advantage in the opening 2 rounds, especially on a site that they should be winning. Laxing with a swing, takes out Spirits. The star player for Parabellum is out of the round. Euphoria, I should say, now left in a 1 versus 3. Now it gets Laxing, but is immediately shut down by Kino. Oxygen looking pretty good here, taking out the first 2 rounds on this Oregon matchup.
Great work there from Kino, who's had a solid stage 1 so far, and a nice shutdown at the end to secure that round for Oxygen. In fact, Kino himself has the 5th best kill differential in North America, plus 19. Of course, originating from Brazil as well, so a bit of Brazilian blood in the server at the moment. Laxing as well. 2 critical kills in that round. He shut down any potential flank from Eska, and then, of course, held down the long corridor, watching that cross as well. A very experienced pair of hands. In fact, Laxing is one of the very few players that has played at every single 6 Invitational. In fact, dating back to 2017, where he won it for Elevate on Xbox.
Oh. Can always count on you to have the statistics, Guz. That's why you're my right-hand man. For Parabellum, though, they've, I guess, had enough of basement. It's just obviously not working out for them. Statistics are one thing, but what we're actually seeing here is Oxygen just too good. They'll switch it up. They'll head upstairs. They'll go to Kids Dorms, which, of course, is one of my favorite sites in all of Siege, let alone on Oregon. And so many matches have been decided off the back of this particular site. A lot of the times, it is a roughly 50% sort of site, but in the NAL, 57% to the defense. I don't know if that translates region to region. I would actually say no, it wouldn't. It is probably closer to that 50% mark. But for Parabellum Esports, this is the problem though, Gus. If they're not winning basement, you have to then say it's going to be difficult for them to win the other sites here on Oregon. It's not good signs early on.
Penguin as well, keeping me happy. I'm still loving the frost picks when I get to see them. Those pog mats, of course, can have a huge impact in these rounds, and the ITA shotgun very helpful in setup, and an additional deployable shield alongside sonars will, of course, be very, very useful in soaking up some of that utility. In fact, Penguin has reinforced the armory hatch, electing to hard hold that position. He has a pog mat on the window, but it is still quite exposed, and it is a little bit high risk.
Attackers have located a bomb.
A lot of ways you can really open up this site. Big window is going to be a play right now for Kino. 5-0. What a start to this matchup. Instrumental in getting these frags, but obviously staying alive. That's a pretty critical stat all the way to the end of these rounds. Euphoria just kind of stuck at the back of Kids. A lot of it's usually open up that game's wall, try and get attic control, but this big window, along with white stairs, is also a very strong play.
Gargo just probing at the bottom of the white stairs as vertical. It's in an engagement looking up in towards Kids. Maybe if Yaga can get droned up white, he could have an impact. The reverse X-Kairos there from Kino will pop that hatch, applying more pressure to Euphoria. Trying to hold that vault in at the double window, but some good utility could clear him. Oh.
Minute 20 left in the round. One of the slower rounds now here in the 3rd round of this game. Of course, remember, it's best of 1. Every round's so important, and very quickly things can get away from Parabellum, considering they are on the defense. We expected that if they were going to do well, needed to start well. Kino, 6-0, fragging out right now on Oregon, and finally gets shut down by Penguin, but the refrag from Boxer, and that's where Oxygen Esports have just been so strong in this area of winning these trades, constantly having this advantage, and once again they're able to do just that. The Gemini goes in, Eska has to be forced away. Spirits is the player though, the swing from Freezer stairs, but it's Vertical who just snaps back and takes out the star player from Parabellum. And now it's down to Euphoria and Eska in a 2 versus 4. Oxygen squeezing the Oxygen out of Parabellum. This is a slaughter right now in Oregon.
Euphoria still inside of Kids. He's been positioned here for the entire round, but now he needs to find 4. Oh, that utility. Absolutely devastating as he tries to hold on, but they pinch him out. It's Laxing to secure the final kill, and it's 3 straight for Oxygen.
And I very much want to emphasize here that, you know, we've spoken about it at length, the defense on Oregon and the statistics and all of these funny stats, 69, haha, nice. But ultimately, from Parabellum, guys, I wasn't expecting this. Now, obviously, we weren't expecting them to win this match or anything, but considering we knew that they were starting on the defense, we thought, okay, this might be a good opportunity for them to win a few rounds, at least win basement, and get into the match. Unfortunately, though, they are kind of getting, you know, stepped on at the moment by Oxygen Esports. And in fact, so much so, they're already taking a tactical timeout 3 rounds in to their campaign here at Six Invitational.
Now, I don't have a stat to back this up, but I'd be willing to back that a timeout 0-3 or 3 rounds into a match is one of the earliest we've probably ever seen. So Parabellum not feeling comfortable at the moment, looking to halt some of that momentum that Oxygen have clearly gathered, looking very dominant on these attacks, choking out their opponents. What about Kino?
It's, just speechless. That's what Kino is causing me to be here. Speechless. The star player, the difference right now, obviously, as you can see here with the scoreboard, thank you, Maddox, best observer.
Can't see the scoreboard. We can see the skiboard, but chat can't, so get wrecked.
Well,
there we go.
There we go. Awesome. Well, everyone can see the scoreboard now. But yes, it is a team effort from Oxygen. You can see this, of course, with all of the kills. Everyone's on at least 2 at minimum, but it's Kino. 6 and 0 there, and 1 death, unfortunately. In that last round doesn't quite make it as nice as 6-0-0, but ultimately, it's like Kino's leading the way and everyone else is following nicely, and he's also playing off a lot of these support players, opening things up. It is like they are on song right now. For Parabellum, the same can't be said. I've mentioned Spirits a few times. This is a player that, at least for Parabellum and in the Challenger League, has been dominating a lot. Very high ratings, something along the lines of like 1.3, a plus 27 KD, and plus 7 entry in the NA Challenger League, which leads the league, and unfortunately hasn't been able to quite get off to the amazing highs of Kino just yet.
Now that we have a little bit of downtime, I'm going to use this opportunity to teach Xenox a lesson. So everybody in chat, sit acutely.
5 seconds left.
It's Fox A, not Fox A. That's A. Yeah, Fox A. Yeah. Come on, you're at a tier 1 event. Come on, dude. You got to know these things. Come on.
I think he looks Fox A.
That's okay. It's forgivable. Yeah, it's Fox A. Of course, the man with the silver hair. Been playing Siege for a long time, a veteran, in fact. He played way back in the qualifiers for the 2017 Invitational, so he's been around for a while, but he's not that old of a man, unlike yourself.
Yes, I'm very old, unfortunately, and unfortunately haven't been around as long, although right now I don't know how long Parabellum's going to be around either. Can they turn it around, though? They've had the tactical timeout, guys. This is where, of course, they've been able to just take a bit of a breather, reset, at least mentally, and we know the mental game is just such a strong portion. And how about this? Getting the opening pick. Penguin takes out the star player, Kino, off the board. This is the time to strike now for Parabellum.
Aruni being used aggressively here from the defense in order to try and maintain some of that map control. Parabellum looking to prevent Oxygen from walking all over them like they have been in some of these rounds and gaining map control relatively uncontested, but Penguin finds a pick. That's 2 down already for Oxygen. It's not been the greatest of starts for them on this attack, but maybe a nade from below could even things out. Sona needs to be careful, but he survives.
Barely. Lost a lot of health for that. Penguin's quite low as well. This could turn pretty quickly. Yago as well, over towards White Stairs, will be able to get the headshot onto Eska. As I said, things can change quickly. Gemini's going to go in from vertical. Still a lot of time left as well, minute and 20 seconds or so. Sona low. As I said before, Penguin's low too. So Parabellum not exactly in the perfect scenario, and there's a second one. There goes Sona, and all of a sudden it's 3 versus 3.
Another nade from below from vertical. Doesn't quite find the mark, but at the top of White Stairs, Yaga does get that one. Penguin and Euphoria need to hold out. The tide has turned in this round. Oxygen bringing it back, but they still need to claim that diffuser outside the double window and think about this execute.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Quick little trade back there between Penguin. Vertical laxing able to get the retrade though. 1 versus 2 now for Euphoria. Has been in this position a couple of times already in the opening 4 rounds of this matchup. So the advantage that Parabellum initially had, that 5-on-3, dissipated very, very quickly. Laxing, Yaga has plenty of time with 20 seconds left on the clock to flush out this final player of Parabellum and go for 4 rounds in a row. Unless Euphoria can stop this plant. Hydrocell is going to go out. Not effective, though. And there's still time to re-stick it for Laxing. Euphoria now needs to at least just stop it. Swings out the trade. No, Yoga wins it. 4 rounds in a row now for Oxygen Esports. And right now, this is a speed run more than anything.
Fantastic work there from the Zofia late round. Left essentially in the 1 versus 1 as the diffuser needed to be stuck, but he hits his shot. A clean one, in fact, over towards top white. Oxygen with a 4-round lead. It's been a rough start here for Parabellum, but welcome to International Siege. This is their induction.
International?
And it's been
the North American team.
But it's the first time they've played on this stage, man. The pressure.
I know. It does hit different. They are going to have to go back downstairs. Laundry supply. They haven't been able to win it yet. Obviously, haven't been able to win any of the rounds. That was their best effort, though. At least slow improvements round by round, and that's probably what it's going to need to be for Parabellum more than anything. It's not going to come in wins. It's going to come in rounds. Just little improvements, little tricks and tips that they can sort of pick up along the way. It's a long week. 6 days or so. I know they don't play every single day, guys, but for the most part, I think that the Parabellum we see here, at least in match 1 compared to their final match, I think you'll see a vast improvement.
Of course, the question will be, will that improvement be enough? It will need to come quickly if they are to survive this group. One team will be eliminated from Group B. They'll be looking to survive as the group stage and head themselves into the playoffs bracket. I guess on the flip side, of course, Oxygen are looking to maximize points as much as possible, start their run, hopefully in the upper bracket, be a light, I guess, a shining light for the North American region, who for the most part are pretty depleted heading into this event.
And I think the other thing as well to mention, we look at day 1 yesterday, and there were some of those first game jitters, those first game upsets where teams were losing their first match, but then winning their second match. That tended to be more so, say, when the team that has already played a game then plays a team that hasn't played at all, and we were seeing the team that had already played win that one. A few times that happened. In this case, of course, for both of these two teams, it is their first matches of SI thus far. We know for a fact that it's going to be Parabellum versus Makers after this match. So for a team like Parabellum, this is going to be a good little warm-up then going into that matchup. So we'll see, of course, how they can bounce back. It's not over here yet, of course. Still a long way to go, but it is looking quite dire if we are to be quite frank. 0-4, especially on the defense. It is very unlikely they're going to be able to come back. But what I want to see from Parabellum is just those little improvements like that previous round on Kids Dorms, where they're just getting a lot more of the fights to go their way and just getting deeper into the rounds in better scenarios.
Good work from Foxay inside of security to pop that hatch, and Kino can get the one in lobby and meeting, and the pressure now starts to build for Parabellum. Oxygen set themselves towards the bottom of Freezer stairs. Kino, with those flashbangs in hand, could potentially flush out this position quite quickly. No one inside of Laundry really to contest that. In fact, it's Esker and Euphoria looking to hold this position down as Vertical gets the opener.
And just like the earliest round of this basement defense, it's Oxygen Esports again being the aggressors and pushing down below and finding these kills one by one. They all fall. And there's only Spirits remaining. Nice shot onto Kino. But he's going to get another 4 more players if he's going to win this round. It is not going to be doable. 5 in zip right now for Oxygen Esports. And they are just cleaning house here on Oregon.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, and I think it's time for Parabellum to throw any strats they may have had heading into this match out of the window. Do something wild here in the last round, and at least prevent yourselves from being 6-0 down. They're going to head over towards Meeting and Kitchen, which sees the 3rd most amount of play in the North American region, both at a Tier 1 and a Tier 3 level. Relatively successful in both, and maybe this site selection could throw Oxygen off.
Yeah, I mean, look, Media Kitchen, as you said, third sort of site that does get played, not just in NAL or the North American region, but pretty much almost globally, right? We don't see too much of dining. In fact, for NAL, it was only played 3 times, and that was it. And it was a 33% defensive win rate, so no wonder we didn't see it too often there for NAL Stage 1. I agree with you. I think this probably should have just been a round where Parabellum just, caution to the wind and just go all out here in this round, do something wacky, do something crazy, try and get around on the board. But at the same time, I do also think you want to be taking this particular round as serious as you would, provided you weren't down 5-0. It's experience. You're gaining this experience that you wouldn't be able to get really anywhere else. You're at 6 Invitational. Now is the time to play as best as you can. Sure, maybe it doesn't stack up against Oxygen Esports, but it might stack up against, say, a team like Makers. And so you want to be on the ball, play your game, don't throw the strat book out just yet. It's only day 1.
An extension above here from Parabellum. Penguin inside of Big Tower with a rotation in towards Addict. Ooh, nice look at some of those guys that have been thrown around the map. One outside, spotted by Kino, going 7-3 on the hard breach. Euphoria as well, quite aggressive. Trying to deny some of that information that has been gathered already by Oxygen. Yaga, meanwhile, sneaks a drone inside a split, and they might think about a rush here alongside Vertical.
Wouldn't surprise me with the way that Oxygen have been playing so far. Brave Sights, look at this. Euphoria had no idea, and this is turning into a bloodbath once again. At least Eska was able to get one back, finally on the board with the kill. Yaga, they're going to get that diffuser down nice and early into the round, and this rush has just been so flawless. Without actually being flawless, guys, it was as close as you could get to being flawless. And what a flawless half from Oxygen Esports. 6-0 match point. And I don't know whether or not Parabellum have what it takes to at least get one on the board here and avoid the humiliating 7-0 defeat.
That's just clean work from Oxygen. They managed to sneak a drone in towards the side. They have the confidence with the 5-0 lead to commit to the push. Great aggression there from Oxygen. Vertical leading the charge around the action. You can see the smile on their faces. They are just laughing at this matchup so far. Cool, calm, and collected, ready to close this one out. It's been a devastating start for Parabellum, but they'll have to lick their wounds and recover for their next match.
And I think, look, they've got Makers coming up after this, and I think everyone can agree it is going to be their best chance of finding a win at 6 Invitational. In saying that, Makers are by no means an easy beat. I actually rate them very highly. I think they're going to surprise many, the Italian team. I'm very much looking forward to that matchup to come after this, which I think is going to be on a little bit quicker than we originally thought. In saying that, though, we all agreed, and as we heard on the desk as well, Oxygen expected to win this. Oxygen's a team that is expected to do good things here at 6 Invitational, and the fact that they've come out of the gate, guys, and they've just 6-0 Parabellum, as they honestly should be, is really good signs for the North American team.
5 seconds remaining.
Can they finish the 100% speed run though? That's the question. One more round away from taking the victory and snatching it out of the hands of the only Canadian team we have seen compete at a 6 Invitational, so a bit of representation there, which is always nice, but their stay could be short-lived. That said, though,
Canadians as Aussies, we're all in this together, being the little brothers.
For sure. There's definitely more Canadian players at this 6 Invitational compared to the Australians, unfortunately, with Wildcard unable to attend. Virtue still competing for G2, which is nice, but of course, turning our attention to this matchup, Penguin. Early control over towards the top of Freezer stairs. An entry drone in front as he looks to take control.
I like this, though, from Penguin. Pushing down Freezer stairs, just trying to establish this Freezer section a little early. Takes out the default. That's fine. Just opens it up for later on. But what we need to see from Parabellum, though, is aggression. If they just sort of dawdle, take too long, Oxygen more than happy to play the trade game with like 20, 30 seconds left. We don't see that as much anymore, obviously, with the changing of the meta, but for the most part, that's something that Parabellum's going to need to avoid. We saw it from Oxygen, and the way that they were playing, they were starting these engagements down below with like a minute left on the clock, sometimes even a minute and a half. In fact, we even saw opening kills in the 2-minute mark. So Parabellum, don't take too long here. It's fine to be aggressive. It's fine to find some kills.
On the topic of aggression, Fox 8 peeking the holes created there from Sona as he looks to pop open the hatch. It doesn't quite work on the first occasion, but he hits it once more and it will be popped open. Oxygen defaulting back towards site, but a heavy hold over towards Pillar. Kino holding the stairs and Vertical keeping an eye on the tarp store and as well as the drop. Parabellum were able to execute this in sync, dump their utility correctly. They may well be able to clear these positions out.
Got to clear out Foxay from elbow, of course. Still take down that shield. You got to clear out Pillar. There's only a minute left, of course. You can push through Freezer later on, or at least send someone through there. This is going to be very difficult for Parabellum. There's still so much that they actually need to do to get onto the site. In fact, they're just going to drop on down. Sona, Eska straight in. Yaga going to be eliminated. They clear out Pillar pretty easy in the end. Eska, though, and Penguin just get obliterated by Kino. He's gotten two. He's going to need to get the next two unless Laxing can help out. Match point, 35 seconds. Is it going to be 7-zip or can Parabellum find a winning round here?
Foxay still in the power position over towards elbow and Laxing watching the long corridor can assist. Sona needs to get in towards site. Euphoria has to try and cover, but it's going to be tough.
Foxay, Laxing, Sona now going to stick this diffuser. Euphoria has been in these 1vx scenarios all game. Laxing's going to stop it though. Sona eliminated. It's once again up to Euphoria. And can't do it. It's Laxing who finds the kill. Oxygen complete the speed run 100%.